Hey, house church leaders. Thursday morning it is, and sorry for the surplus of videos coming to you this week. But I had one thing that I kind of wanted to share with you this morning. Something that we're going to be doing. I just decided it about 30 minutes ago. Something that we're going to be doing across Bloomland during Lent, and I wanted you guys to kind of have the inside track on what was going on with respect to this before we sort of rolled it out to the congregation. Let me just back up one step by saying I think that we've announced this, but I don't know how clear it's been. We're canceling all house church meetings next week. Now, sorry if that gets your feathers all ruffled up a little bit or steps on your toes, but we really want to cancel all of house church next week so that everybody comes to the Ash Wednesday service. 7 o'clock at home, childcare provided for 0 to 4, all that stuff. We just want to get the whole congregation together and really consecrate the season as a holy Lent, a time devoted to God. But one of the things that we'll be doing during this one, which I'm really excited about, is this. And let me try to be as brief about this as possible. Years ago at Bloom, as a response to this whole, Bloom really went through this process when it first began of reimagining the story of Christianity and what it means to be a Christian in God's world. And so for years, the story of what it meant to be a Christian in God's world was that, we prayed a prayer and we believed in Jesus, and then we basically just lived decent, ethical lives while we waited for Jesus to come back and rescue us before the world blew up and all that stuff. And doesn't seem like the scriptures actually really paint that picture. In fact, what it seems like is that God is on this mission to reclaim and restore his world, and that what he does with us in redemption is that he wraps us into that, and we become agents of his restoration in the world. So what to do congregationally as a response to that? One thing that Bloom did many years ago was created this thing called the apostolate, which was basically a process through which a person at Bloom could evaluate the things that God had given them, what was in their hands right now at this current moment, and then work through a sense of, okay, so what is it that God is calling me to do with these things that are in my hand, to be an agent of redemption, an agent of blessing, to bring more of his concrete goodness to bear in the world. And then what would happen is that person would share that with their house church or share that at Bloom on Sunday night. And the group would gather around them and pray for them and sort of commission them into that work, almost like a stateside missionary or something like that. And it could be anything, it could be I want to take my painting more seriously for the glory of God. It could be I want to take my role as a mother more seriously for the glory of God. And these are going to be the things that I'm going to do to add more value into my home. It could be job, it could be just relationships, work, time, talent, money, resources, special abilities, anything. And as long as you just felt like God was asking me to do something specific with this, then the congregation would release you into that work. We've always talked about bringing that back into Bloomland. And as a matter of fact, in my house church, I've kind of been working through a process of leading our people through that and kind of understanding that. And last night we had this really interesting conversation. And one of the people in our house church, Amy Dodds, who's been part of our house church forever, after having kind of worked through this sheet that we put together that asks you those questions, kind of looked at us and said, this just sort of feels almost too big and unwieldy. And I'm not even quite sure what I would do or how I would approach this. What if we just undertook as a house church a small Lenten experiment in using something that's in our hands to be an agent of redemption or to add more value or goodness or whatever it is into the world? And what if we just did that together, held each other accountable, and just kind of see where it went? And I thought, dang, that's like an amazing suggestion. Yes, we'll do that. So I put together this little sheet this morning and then recorded a video and threw it up on our house church wall. And then the thought occurred to me about halfway through that, wait, this would be a really cool thing to do with the whole congregation as a way of preparation for Lent. And if people are in house churches, then the house churches can be places of support and nurturing of that. They can share the journey with the rest of their house church over the next 6 weeks. Or if they're not, they just do it, on their own or with their close friends or family or whatever. But this is a way of us, we always talk about at Bloom, we have the 4 values: community, spiritual formation, the sacredness of our work, and shalom. And we say that all of those values pile into one another, but we're always looking for ways to, okay, so what does that actually look like? Can we create some tools that help move people in that direction? And this, I think, is a really powerful tool. So I'm going to upload this onto the Bloom House Church Leader page here, right along with this video. Look it over, kind of get a sense of it. And then next Wednesday or this coming Sunday when we get together, I'll talk through it with the whole congregation and encourage people, whether they're in house church or out of house church, to do it and to take it seriously and make it a thing that they do during Lent. And then when you all get together, the next time you get together after Ash Wednesday, I want to encourage you to spend some time with your folks talking about, okay, so how many of you did this and what did you decide to do? And then if anybody did decide to do a few things, then during Lent as a house church, hold them accountable, ask them questions, check in with them and see how it's going, and so on and so forth. So that's kind of the scoop on that. Again, really sorry for an overly long video, but we're always looking for ways to enflesh our values and keep them from being sort of ethereal and abstract, and trying to make them more concrete. And I think that this is one way to do that. So the sheet is going to be uploaded in the second year. Let me know if you have any questions. Remember, no house church next week. We want everybody to come to the Ash Wednesday service. If for some reason that's some deep conflict for you, just let me know. But other than that, we just love for you to be there. So grace, mercy, and peace be with you. If you have any questions about this whole thing, let me know. Love you, and we'll see you soon.